sklearnutilscheckXy. Description: the checkXy function in scikit-learn sklearn is a utility function used to validate the input data X and target labels Y before feeding them into an estimator model. It ensures that the data is in the correct format and meets the assumptions required by most estimators. Inputs: X, the input data. It can be a NumPy array, pandas data frame, or other formats compatible with scikit-learn. It represents the features or independent variables. Y, the target labels or dependent variables. It can be a NumPy array, pandas series, or another compatible format. Outputs: X, the validated input data, potentially converted to a NumPy array. Y, the validated target labels, potentially converted to a NumPy array. Steps: data type check verifies if X and Y are instances of allowed data types NumPy arrays. Pandas data frames, etc. Data shape check validates if the data has the expected dimensions and shape. For instance, X should have a two-dimensional shape, number of samples, number of features, while Y can be a one-dimensional array representing the labels. Missing value check detects and potentially handles missing values nans based on the accept sparse and force all finite arguments. Data conversion converts the input data to the required format, typically NumPy arrays. Metrics: none. This function doesn't compute any specific metrics. Its purpose is to ensure data quality. Visualization plots: none. This function does not produce visualizations. Fine-tune parameters: accept sparse boolean whether sparse matrices are accepted. Default is false. Force all finite boolean whether to raise an error if X or Y contains infinities or nans. Default is true. D-type data type to convert X and Y to. If none, the data types are preserved. Order whether X and Y should be forced to be in C or Fortran order. Default is none. Copy boolean whether a copy of X and Y is made. Default is true. Check D-type boolean whether to check that the data type of X and Y is acceptable. Default is true. Estimator: the estimator that will use the data. This can be used to check if the data is suitable for the estimator. Default is none. Uncertainty methods: none. This function does not offer uncertainty quantification. Challenges and fixes: challenge 1, input data contains invalid data types. Sample use case that resulted in challenge 1 passing a list instead of a NumPy array for X. Fixes to challenge 1: convert the list to a NumPy array before passing it to checkXy. Challenge 2: input data has incorrect dimensions. Sample use case that resulted in challenge 2: X has a one-dimensional shape instead of a two-dimensional shape. Fixes to challenge 2: reshape X to the required two-dimensional shape. Challenge 3: input data contains missing values nans. Sample use case that resulted in challenge 3: X has missing values that were not handled properly. Fixes to challenge 3: impute the missing values using a suitable method. Or set force all finite to false to allow nans. Challenge 4: input data has inconsistent data types. Sample use case that resulted in challenge 4: X has a mix of numerical and categorical features, while Y is a string array. Fixes to challenge 4: convert all data to a consistent data type, either numerical or categorical, using appropriate methods like astype or one-hot encoding.